The fallacy of the correlation between the wealth of materiality and the nobleness of society. Prior to the present day discussion of income inequality, income redistribution, plutocracy, freeloading, and other conservative or liberal talking points, I had made the empirical observation decades ago that affluence and wealth did not correlate or were the indicators of civility or humaneness. The increased material prosperity did not bring an enlightened increase in the level of civility or compassion from my experience or observations. The argument could be made that material affluence plus its oh so important trappings that come with it degrade the humanity of the many as their status with the trappings becomes more important than the tangible relationships they have with people they know, let alone the abstract relations they conceive for themselves with people they have no more than a passing or third-person knowledge of. Neighborhoods existed by overt or covert gentlemen's agreement via redlining, which helped propagate such bias to bigotry of its residents. There were well-heeled neighborhoods in my hometown of Syracuse where I knew I was not welcome and thinly tolerated by the adults, let alone the well-learned patronizing of their kids, my contemporaries. One of the guys who became a good buddy with me in our latter weeks of high school and thereafter was a contentious adversary of mine from the time of our first knowledge of each other in the 7th grade, because of the bigotry he was taught by his father, parents also probably, only because he became a victim of the same senseless bigotry from the family of a girl who was his high school sweetheart, plus the events of senseless hate and violence in the national news with the deaths of Martin Luther King Jr. and Robert F. Kennedy 8 weeks later, that so reflected the same injustice inflicted upon his aspirations of romance that he came to renounce not only such bigotry, but the attitudes of his own household, and he approached me to bury the hatchet that had existed so senselessly over our junior and senior high school years. Materiality and wealth trickling down to raise all boats is not the answer, nor is the direct redistribution of wealth by itself is an answer. A Renaissance redistribution of empathy and sympathy is needed. Empathy as in seeing it conceivable to feel the anguish of another, and sympathy in realizing the common and holistic fate of all concerned beyond one's narrow, objective, materialistic interest. In this way, you would be able to celebrate the triumphs and misfortunes of others with a constructive perception of your common solidarity in the most difficult to work in progress situations. This occurs because of a psychic resonance of feeling, the other's resonance or joy, that you judge not, because there, by the grace of fate, goes you. So says Lucifer's heretic, The Apostacies of Consensus. Once the individual is constantly fed the signals of their impotence and insignificance, it is quite natural for them to reach no further than what they can take hold of, if only with their hands or feel with their tangible senses. The only submission that exists in this world, in one's potential, is one's unaddressed limitations.